and I made things difficult for myself. I'm going to have to reverse the yard. Well, it's easier to load because you're straight on, and these aren't very heavy, so you should be able to reverse up the yard without having to lock the brakes out. I'm actually not doing too bad here. Once I get straightened up again, I can see in the other mirror. Right, here we go. They were supposed to be coming this today to do start putting, not necessarily actually putting electronics in, but start fitting it out. So the first day at least might be about putting shelving or staging in to put things on. Cows have gone over the river, which I'm quite pleased about. They're about, I wouldn't say they're eating up, but it's amazing how the grass has just sort of disappeared. There is grass left that they won't eat. There's quite a lot at the bottom of this field on the right. But it's not really a very big area. They always leave this bit down here. I don't really know why. Shut the window, it's a bit drafty. It's very, very mild and sort of muggy. 16 degrees. I'll be recording on the Action 4, which to some extent I'm just experimenting with it really. I have two of these cameras now, and I don't necessarily want to keep putting this one in if I had the other one in. Anyway, in the back of here we've got just 10 lambs this first load. I've had a lot of problems when they were weaned, maybe 6 weeks ago now. They went into this really lush, like second cut grass, which direct opposite of last year. This is a bit like what happened when I caught the mudguard on that underrun thing at the back. Just to say, caught it on a wagon and twanged it. Last time I took sheep to ruswarp. Anyway, Chippy's in his quarry. Right, we got these sheep, and the problem was they got that much blooming grass, and it's sort of slushy, lush stuff, really wet and squishy. So a lot of them got shitty arses, and I would assume that there isn't as much sort of nutrient value in it as you might have thought looking at it, because they don't seem to be doing all that well, really. I mean, they're sort of growing, but they don't seem very fit. So I mean, there was fit ones, but I was trying to get like some bigger ones, because there's some absolutely massive ones in there. These will be 45 and 50 kilos I have in here. But anyway, I was just sort of struggling really to get, because I was avoiding the ones that were really shitty, even though I clipped them out, but they still look shitty. They look alright next time. and some of the ones that were had been shitty or whatever weren't very fit anyway. I struggled. I couldn't take. I normally got probably 14 on the first load, because usually you can just go in and grab fat ones. It's easy. But as another problem is they're all mixed up varieties. I mean, I have two tubs anyway. One's a Texas, one's a Suffolk, which isn't ideal. But then this time, more than half of them are some sort of weird thing. That possibly we think it's a mule tup had got in with them. Not mine, I hasten to add. And not just once, but probably at least 3 or 4 times it'd been in, and it's still a bit of a mystery because I never saw a tup in with them. But sort of from February onwards, these weird looking lambs started appearing, and to be fair, some are better than others. Some are not bad lambs at all, but some are just like little moory lambs. He's taken, because if he was a mule tup, he'd be kind of halfway to a Swaledale, and some of his offspring are trending more towards the Swaledale end. So they've got horns, but even some of them are actually quite big things. They're all just a bit weird, frankly, but they're not bad lambs overall. They're just not what people are maybe expecting to see. So, to be honest, what I have in the trailer this time, they aren't too bad for that. They just look a bit like mules or something. Except for one that's a Suffolk. There was this one massive Suffolk, he just wanted to go. So I got a bit of a mixed up load. I don't know what they'll make of. And on top of that, because they're so much more closely related to the moor sheep, they're sort of wild as hell. You go in the trailer and they're all piled up on top of each other at the far end. If you went in with a load of Suffolks or Texels, they just, well, they would mill around. They weren't jumping on top of each other. To the point that when they're in the pen, they jump on top of each other and start getting out the other end if you're not careful, because they're piled up 3 deep. Oh dear. Anyway, so the funny thing is that obviously they aren't all these wild ones, but there's enough wild ones there that they upset the whole group and change the sort of overall behaviour. And you could see it. Just getting him in the pen it wasn't really difficult, to be honest. I think in some ways the fact they were so flighty worked against them, because they went in the pen easier, because they thought, oh, we'll get out the other end and jump over it or something, presumably. Headlights on through here, because people can stop there if they know something's coming. Right. It's always a relief to get through there, because sometimes you hardly can do it. The way they park, you can't hardly get through it, trailer on. That's for wagons and things. So that's what the worst thing. If it can be a wagon, might be going this way, because I don't like trying to get out of the Duke of Wellington at all, even with a light load on. Tiger removals. If you're coming out the other way, you have to come out that junction there, and you invariably have to stop completely, even if you're in first gear. So it's quite a treacherous hill start, which you can have, even with a lighter load, it can be spinning the tyres, which I don't like to do at any time. I mean, you could put it in 4-wheel drive. You'd be stuck in 4-wheel drive till you got up this hill probably, because it won't come out until it's not loaded. I don't really know when I'm in first gear. I normally keep going in second. I just seem to want to go slow today. I think I just wanted to make it a bit easier on the truck, but to be honest, I got a bit of a scare the other day. I got sort of almost forced into the verge by something coming down a hill, and I was going to go up, and I got a bit of pickle. I couldn't get set off again. So I was trying to get into low range and it wouldn't go in, so I'll try first gear. And it was just too, it wouldn't go. So I'd done the clutch, no good at all. I mean, I've had this pickup nearly 10 years, and another one before that. And then I'm not a towing novice, but I just got caught out good and proper there. And there was sort of nasty burny smells from the clutch, so it recovered. I mean, he never offered to not bite, but there was like a nasty burny smell for about 2 hours afterwards. Clutch burny smell floating around. I think it wasn't still burning, it was just on everything. And then I thought next time when I was, oh, it's alright, but the next time I had the trailer on, I did notice again, it was only slightly, admittedly. So just maybe we're actually looking at replacing the clutch sooner or later. But it's not done many miles, this truck. Well, we're getting on for 25,000. I know it's not many for it's considering it's nearly 10-year-old. It'll be 10-year-old next March actually. I still see no reason to change it. I like this pickup. It's got ample power. It's an absolute pleasure to drive most of the time. Even with the trailer on, it just plays with it normally. I mean, I suppose in a way that at 10 years old, maybe the age of the clutch is to some extent irrelevant, as much as the number of miles it's done, and because it's got the trailer on about half the time and often quite heavy loads, and you're working it much harder than if it was just being driven around with a few tools in the back. So maybe I should be thinking about doing it. I might just ask him at the garage anyway, just see what he says. Flowers in all directions. I'm actually quite impressed I managed to get them flowers to grow there. It's a bleak windswept place. You can see my bonnet, it's got water on it, and see how the water is all sat in beads, because possibly the second time since I bought it I waxed it. Because I just washed it and I thought, actually this pickup, it's a 10-year-old, there's not a mark on it. Well, there is a few little marks, but there's not a spot of rust on it. So I gave it a right good clean and did the windows and everything. And it's quite impressive really. It's a bit rusty underneath. But it's not too bad though, it's just superficial rust around the tow bar and all especially. These people who won't go quite fast now, it's just going. I suppose they're trying to be economical. Going at 45 miles an hour, it's bloody annoying. Because I can't realistically overtake anything with the trailer on. Even if it was empty, it would be a struggle. I'm not that bothered to be honest at 50, but it keeps slowing down. He's only doing 45. So you end up with a fucking great queue behind you. Though to be fair, there isn't much of a queue at the moment. There's a few more further back because there's another quite slow lorry or something going on. It's a van, probably restricted to 50 behind. Cows there still, isn't there? That's Wilkes Farm cows, must be about 100 in that field. Strip grazing apparently. I think they've got a back fence in as well, I'm not quite sure what they're doing there to be honest. They do various things where they have a fresh plot each day. But it's a lot of extra work. We used to do that at one point. Well, not quite like that, but we tried to give them a fresh bit of grass with electric fence every day, and that was always my job. And I got the contractor bill for my silage bale. It was 119 and I think it was 730 or something like that. I'm not quite sure the exact figure, but that was including VAT, so I didn't think that was too bad really. But there's another part to his bill though, where it's not. I get a separate bill from the company that supplies his wrap, but it won't be that much. I think I ain't sure. I think he didn't even use two rolls, so it won't be that much. But it seems to be quite nice stuff. I've used two bales. One had I jabbed it when I was trying to get it out of edge bottom. So I had patched it, but I thought I'd use that one, and it was quite nice. And the cows, well, they aren't mad keen on it, but they seem to quite enjoy it. So I've given them a second one. That massive crane ahead, can you see it on this camera? I think they're doing something very close to where the old slaughterhouse was, and but it's been sort of redeveloped. It isn't, because that was the Westcliff station. The trains used to go. We had to climb up from down this line in the bottom where the viaduct is, and the the line carried on up the coast to Sands End and that. But that was closed. It wasn't the beaching thing. That was closed in the 50s. What does that say? Distracting. I don't know that over the summer. I haven't seen that before. The previous camera, once at least, it got to here and it shut down due to overheating. But this one hasn't done. The other day I had it running on 4K and it was quite warm and sunny. And it was alright until I left it on when I was parked by accident. And it must have shut down quite quickly after that, within 10 minutes. That was a good thing really, because I'd forgotten it was on. So I came back and it still had half the battery left. See, there's that white pickup that went to the way. It didn't work, did it? I knew it wouldn't. The river's a bit brown. Inadvertently, I must have caught a train, steam train and that. Because there must be one normally by this time, because it's not unheard of to catch it on the level crossing. Well, that would have been, wouldn't it? If he hadn't stopped here, is just about a copter. But in fact, it's quite nice to see it going through here instead. Well, that fence is in the way.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy and let me try with pleasured hands to take you in this time to promised lands, to show you everyone. It's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly. Tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he taken any time to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly. Tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving.
This is one of the worst parts about coming this way. Usually you're quite lucky, but there seems to be quite a few caravans and things holding them up, and now they can't. They're all in long lines when I get here. What's he got there? Some sort of turnipy looking thing. I don't quite know what it is. It looks like mangles. We used to say mangles because it's mangold, or if you see it written down, a sort of turnip, a bit like sugar. God, that could be beet, I suppose. I mean, like fodder beet. I don't know. Back in the day, I used to quite like, say, I'd been down to Whitby, driving back down here pretending you were in France, coming on the right hand side all the way down here. Of course you could. I'm still quite inclined to go right down the middle, but it's kind of, when you have the trailer on, it's kind of bumpy at the side. Well, I mean, there's like holes, so you're right on the white line anyway, unless you want to bump in them all. So you might just as well go right down middle and just ease back over if somebody's coming. But you can't do it all the way down. When we had it sounds funny with hindsight, we had a Ford Cortina estate at one point, and it felt like this massive, big, almost American style car. It wouldn't be as big as this. But anyway, you did seem to, because it was relatively softly strung by motor, you seem to sort of waft about in it. It's rather pleasing to drive. I mean, I would enjoy driving one now, to be honest. And it felt a bit like, because at that time there was a lot of stuff on. There was a lot of stuff on TV from America, like Hawaii 5 or something. I don't think we didn't really watch it, but there was a lot of stuff, and with the big bouncy American cars. I don't think they were very used to driving that. I could have fun through there, lower down. He sort of didn't get into the side properly. I had to stop and let him ease past. It's actually quite surprising how quickly autumn is kind of descending The trees are starting to turn a bit, but everything is just looking a bit tired and battered. As much as anything.